Hello and welcome back, or welcome to my channel. Thank you for clicking on this video, and as I am still very new, as you can see, I only have 2 or 3 videos out there right now. I'm still figuring out how I'm gonna do this or what format I'm gonna do. So right now I'm going with a weekly update of my reading. I'll tell you what I'm reading, what I finished, and what I plan on reading next. So this week, which is July 29th, I am reading Year 1 by Nora Roberts. I'm 317 pages in on chapter 20. This is a apocalyptic book about a pandemic, basically, that in the first couple of chapters I had to check to see when the book was published to see if it was before or after 2020, because there was a part in there where I was like, we lived through this. But a virus called the Doom comes to the world, and billions of people die very quickly within a couple of weeks. And those that survive, some become the uncanny. They develop gifts. Some are witches and wizards, there's sorcerers, there's fairies, there's elves, there's shapeshifters, both good and bad. And we basically follow a couple of groups of people who do what they need to do to survive and eventually come together. The part where I'm at, they've come together in a town that was abandoned. Now they are trying to figure out how to basically continue living and live together as they are. It kind of gives me the Stand vibes at this point. It's just book 1 of 3. I'm reading it as my last book on my TBR for Phase Out Your TBR readathon, which is hosted by Chris's Corner. I am also reading The Untold Tales of I Hate Fairyland. I read the first 4 of the I Hate Fairyland series last month, I think it is, and this is the only other one that my library has, even though there are 2 more in the series, which I'm gonna have to figure out how I can get a hold of. I liked main books, but this is just basically short stories. I'm not a big short story person. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just short stories. If you don't know, I Hate Fairyland is a story of I believe she's 7-year-old girl makes a wish and gets pulled into fairyland. She has to complete a journey to get the key so she can go back home. 30-some years later, she is still there. She is angry. She is still stuck in a 7-year-old body. She is hating it, and it was fun. It was fun. I am also reading at this time, and I don't have a physical copy. If I can figure out how to put something up there, I will, but I'm not very positive on that one. They Thought They Buried Us by Noniga Ramos. I'm sure I butchered that, and I'm very sorry. This is a young adult horror about a aspiring horror filmmaker who gets a scholarship to a boarding school, a prestigious boarding school. They don't want to go. They don't want to go. They want to stay home, but they go, and as soon as they get there, that weird things, they notice weird things, like everybody in work study is known by their job, not by a name, as in there's the server and the hostess and the laundress. Things of theirs go missing and then suddenly show up somewhere completely different. Just weird things start happening, and as soon as they get there, they start having odd dreams that belong to somebody else. Right now, I'm not quite sure how I am liking it. It's not bad, but It's a little slow, it's a little draggy, but a lot of dark academia kinda is, in my opinion. So we'll see. I'm also doing a reread of The Last House on Needless Street. That is the audiobook I chose from the library because it was available to listen to while I drive to and from work. I am one of the ones that enjoyed that book. I enjoyed Catriona Ward's writing. What I finished last week. Last week, I am a slow reader, so I don't always get a lot read. And I just finished doing 2 competitive readathons in a row, and I'm kind of in a slump. So all I finished last week was the 24/7 Demon Mart, The Graveyard Shift. This is book 1 in a series. It's a horror comedy series, and it delivers exactly what it is. It's a horror comedy. The synopsis, one of the best synopses ever written. 1 loser, 1 karate chopping bombshell, 1 heavy metal cockroach. They are all that stands between you and hell on earth. A frightfully funny horror comedy. So basically Lloyd has a crush on Dee Dee, who works at the Dairy Mart. And he goes and gets slushies there regularly so that he can see her, and she works the night shift. One night he goes in and he is there when something goes down, and Carl, the other employee of the night shift, leaves, just runs out screaming. And that is when he meets Faust, Mr. Faust, the manager of the entire store, who hires him basically on the spot to be Carl's replacement. And Carl learns that it's not the Dairy Mart, it's the Demon Mart. The beer fridge holds a portal to hell. Their job is to keep anything that is not allowed to come through without the right papers from coming through. As you can imagine, there's a bunch of hijinks that goes on with things getting through that aren't supposed to get through, so they have to basically fight them back. So this was a good one. I enjoyed it. I plan on reading at least the next 1 or 2 in the series. We'll see how far I get. It is by D.M. Again, I can't pronounce names. D.M. Gway. Sorry if I butchered that one. But if you're into more of the campy, fun stuff, I would recommend this. So what I am planning on reading next, mostly because it's due back to the library. Obviously, I pulled it out because I was interested in it. It is called Paradise Rot. It is by Jenny Haval, hopefully. And I know absolutely nothing about this book other than it is plant horror. I've never read plant horror before. I know nothing about plant horror. I saw it in one of the chats in one of the readathons I did, and I thought I need to try that. So keep you updated. So that is my weekly update this week for my reading. If you have read any of these, please let me know what your opinions down in the bottom. If you have any recommendation for anything that you think I might like with my so far 1 book that I've finished, let me know, or just stop down and say hey in the chat. Thank you for clicking on this video. I appreciate it, and hopefully you will come back.